All right, why don't we go ahead and get started? So, hello everyone, welcome to today's webinar. I'm Nicole, the Content Marketing Manager for Kintone, and I'm excited to take you on a tour of the Kintone Business Application Platform in just a few minutes. Actually, my colleague, Jana Berman, will be doing that, so I will turn it over to her momentarily. But before I do that, I'd like to go over a few items so you know how to participate in today's event. So you should see your attendee interface on your computer desktop in the upper right corner. You're currently listening in using your computer speaker system, but if you'd prefer to join over the phone, just select telephone in the audio pane and the dial-in information will be displayed. So there'll be lots of opportunities, really any time today, that you'd like to submit text questions, and you can do so by typing them into the questions pane of the control panel. So again, feel free to send them in at any time. We'll collect those and we'll address them at the very end during our Q&A session. And now that we are all settled, I'd like to tell you a bit more about Kintone. So Kintone is an all-in-one cloud-based platform that allows teams to rapidly build and deploy custom business applications. What's so neat about the Kintone platform is that it empowers business leaders to create custom solutions with little or no coding skills in a secure IT governed environment. So really best of both worlds here. To demonstrate what that looks like, I'm going to pass you over to Jana so you can see what it all looks like in action.
Hi everyone, this is Jana. I'm the account executive here at Kintone, and I'm really looking forward to showing you the Kintone platform. So what we're looking at here is what we call our dashboard and the main subdomain of the platform that you would see when you log into your own account. The first thing you really notice here is the announcement board. And this is a great place for dashboarding, putting all the charts and graphs that are really important that you need to see first and foremost. As you see, as I hover over this pie chart, the different pieces of the pie are being highlighted. These are live charts and graphs. So if I click actively working, there are 4 records here. It'll take me to that application in that space and specifically to the 4 records in question. I don't have to go clicking around looking for what I need. It's right there before me. But I'm going to go back to the portal page and show you assigned to me. Once you've enabled process management, which is our task-driven workflow for automated workflows, you'll see this page assigned to me. These are literally the tasks you need to accomplish for today and the number of tasks associated with each application. Spaces are a great way to segregate your data. Now you could do this in a number of different ways, by project, by customer, by department. Completely depends on you. You can have members of that space and multiple threads, which we'll get into a little bit later, but it's part of our collaboration features. Here are the applications. Now, if I click the plus sign, you'll see there are 5 ways to create an application. The first is from our marketplace, which is really a free library of about 20 or 30 different applications that we've pre-built, and you can further customize based on your specific needs. You can see what we have by department. We have application packs with related records and lookup fields, and I'll talk about those in a little bit as well. Going back down, one of our most popular features is to create an application from an Excel or a CSV file. This is a one-step import that transforms a static data into a live data set that you can then report on, collaborate on, and share with your team. From a template or existing application, if you have an existing application that you need to duplicate, maybe for a different space or another set of users, you can do so by duplicating the application but not the data. And then, of course, you can use our drag and drop utility to build the application from scratch. I'm going to show you an application that we've already built and have a process management enabled around. our sales leads management application. So I have 2 leads assigned to me. And you can see this is an assigned to me. On the left side, we have a view called assigned to me. If I want to see all the fields or all the leads, I can click on that view and you'll see the number of column headers in this list view becomes quite numerous. Now, the beauty of views is everyone who logs into the platform has different fields of data that are more relevant to their job. So they can create a view to see the fields of data that they need to see first without scrolling across the whole screen. I'm going to go back to the assigned to me and point out our commenting features. You see there's a number 4 on the left side in front of the record. If I click on this application, or this record in this application, excuse me, you'll notice that there are 4 comments in the commenting bar. Now, what's great about commenting is they're live. So if you mention someone, like I'm going to do right now, please confirm. Richard is now going to get that notification in one of 3 different ways. Up on the left-hand corner, you'll notice the bell. That bell will light up with a number when you have a notification. You can also get a push notification on your cell phone or tablet if you've downloaded the Kintone application for iOS or Android. In addition to that, you can choose to get an email from the platform. Just depends how you want to interact or how you want Kintone to interact with you. Underneath the commenting, the icon that looks like the clock is actually an audit history for this record. And you can see all of the changes that have been made, who made the changes, and when they occurred. Now you can see right here on August 26, 2013, Mark Peters changed the date from March 21st to September 6th. If that was a mistake, I could actually restore to the previous version. So no problems, mistakes happen every day, but knowing that that feature is there is a great load off. So this is the record detail view on the left, and these are all the fields in our record. I can quickly edit via the pen and paper on the right, excuse me, and edit what kind of information I need and save that. You'll notice on the left-hand side, these options are part of the process management from the end user perspective, and everything I've shown you is from the end user perspective. We're going to dive into the administrative section next. So I can send the quote to the customer and confirm that it's done. So now you see that I've sent the quote to the customer. If I want to see the administrative aspect of this platform, I go to the 3 ellipses on the right-hand side and change the app settings. From here, I have all the administrative tools at my fingertips. What I'd like to do first is edit the form and show you our drag and drop utility. So this form has been pre-built with user selection fields, meaning that a representative in this case would be any user of the Kintone platform. This is a field group that you can expand or minimize depending on how many fields you'd like to show. And again over here with attachment fields as well. We've got about 23 fields on the left-hand side that you literally drag and drop onto the form on the right, and then you change the settings to name that field and enter in the options for it. But I'm just going to delete that for now. When you're building something from scratch, the form on the right will be blank, and again, you just drag and drop the fields you'd like to see. Views, as I mentioned earlier, are great for different individuals who log into the platform and have different fields of data that are more relevant to what they need to accomplish. And clicking on the plus sign here brings you again to our drag and drop utility, where all the fields in the application are present on the left, and you simply drag and drop the fields you'd like to see onto the form on the right. Creating charts and graphs couldn't be easier. Just click the plus sign, and any Excel chart or graph that you can create, you can also create here in Kintone. And remember, the charts and graphs are all live, which means you can dive into the specific data set you're looking at. And now the meat and potatoes of the app settings. Process management. This is a task-driven workflow. So the first thing, you always want to enable process management and set the different statuses that this project can be in. Now you can add and delete them. You can move them around as appropriate. But what's really important is setting the flow. So who's responsible for taking action on this status and moving it to the next status? Once a draft quote is created, we can choose either Dave, Mark, or Bill, who I'm logged in as today, and we've decided to choose one assignee from this list to take action. You can choose all assignees must take action, or only one assignee must take action. If you had a review and approval application and 10 people must approve this form before moving it to the next status, then you'd want to choose all assignees in the list must take action. Then you can branch out criteria around any field in your application. So maybe it's by the assignee or the company website. It's really any field that's appropriate. If this were a sales leads application with territories, I could break it up by territory or by number of employees in the company, and that would go to 2 separate people. On the right-hand side, you see that from draft quote created, this can go to either quote approved or quote needs to be changed. From there, it goes to quote approved or quote needs to be changed. And what's the next step to happen from there? Send quote to the customer or back to draft quote created. This is how you set up the process management. And if you have questions on this, don't worry, you can always reach out to us anytime and we're happy to help. Going back out to the application settings, I'd like to talk about the notifications for a moment. There are 2 main types of notifications. They're action-based and time-based. Per record notifications are the action-based, and this is around a field of data of your choosing. And if the probability includes 30%, then I want to be notified. Actually, I just read that it's 80% or higher based on the summary, so I will scroll down and show you that that's already been chosen. And what I want to be notified is that the lead is 80% or higher probability, so I should probably take some action on that. Canceling out of here, I'll go to the reminder notifications. And these are based around any date or time field in your application. So if I want to be reminded to follow up, I could say 3 days after the next action date, I want to be notified and I want to be reminded to follow up with that lead. If this were, for example, a license renewal application, I could be reminded 30 days before the expiration date to be reminded that this license needs to be renewed. Canceling out of here, let's talk a little bit about permission controls. The application itself can be managed, which allows you to get under the hood and see the administrative fields that we're looking at right now. They're very granular, and you can go into the records who has permissions to view, edit, and see all of the records there. If there's a specific record you don't want people to see, then you can eliminate that from their view. Now, as I mentioned, these are very granular and they go down to the field level. So if you have salary information, for example, or really any financial information that maybe the executive team should see, but maybe someone doing data entry shouldn't have privy to, you can eliminate that field from their view. They won't even know that it's there. Just to let you know, we do have open APIs that we integrate with a lot of third-party applications, and we also use Zapier as a no-code, low-code connection point to integrate with third-party applications as well. Over here, I just want to point out the action button allows you to bring some information from one of your applications and bring that data into another application. For example, if you had a prospect database and a projects database, and you wanted to bring the prospect's contact information into the projects database, you could create an action button to do just that. Some of the other fields I wanted to mention are related records and lookup fields. These are both ways to pull information in from a primary application into the application you're currently working on. Related records give you the opportunity to dive into that specific record from your data source application. For example, if you had a timesheet application and a projects application, with related records, you'd be able to see all of the times people worked on that specific project and even dive into those people's specific records to see the times they've worked on other projects as well. Lookup fields are a one-time pull of data from, say, a client application to your project's application, so you don't have to input all the data about the client's contact information you already have available. You can simply pull that data in by selecting the fields you wish to display. That's all the time we have today for the demo. If you have any questions at all, you can reach me at Jana, Jana, at Kintone.com. I'll pass it back to Nicole. Thank you very much for your time.
Excellent. Thank you, Jana. All right, so we are going to start answering some questions that were submitted during today's presentation. And as a reminder, you can still submit any questions you might have in your attendee control panel. So we'll just give you a couple moments here to formulate any questions you might have. All right, so we've got a couple questions here. Let's start with this first one from Kevin. What outside services does Kintone integrate with? I will let Jana go ahead and answer that one.
I touched on that a little bit in the demo, but we do have the open APIs and we integrate with Zapier for just about any connection that you're looking to integrate with. For example, we have a lot of customers that integrate with their QuickBooks and Slack. That's a big one that people are using.
Great. Next question here. This one's from Michael. Can I use Kintone on my phone?
Absolutely. If you download our app from the iOS or Android stores, you can download Kintone to your mobile, to your tablet, to really any device that you're using and access your subdomain and all of your applications, commenting notifications from there.
Great. This next question is from Taro. How is my data protected in Kintone?
Your data is extremely secure in Kintone. We actually encrypt data both in flight and at rest. We also have two-factor authentication, which I didn't mention earlier, where we fence off the IP address, and if you have the client certificate downloaded on your device, only then would you be able to access your subdomain.
Excellent. And it looks like those are all the questions we have for today. So thank you for asking those. And thank you, Jana, for leading a fantastic deminar. As we call it here at Kintone, we call it a deminar, demo webinar. I'm sure you gathered that. So if you have any other questions, maybe that pop up later, you are more than welcome to contact Jana. That's Jana at kintone.com. And of course, with all of this information fresh on your minds, it is the perfect time to sign up for a free 30-day trial to practice building apps and workflows just like you saw in this webinar. So it's totally free, no credit card. You can start building things immediately from the get-go. Once you leave today's webinar, you'll receive a survey on the presentation, and it'd be great if you could complete that so we can have your feedback in making these better. You'll also receive a follow-up email within 24 to 48 hours with a link to view a recording of today's webinar, so you can come back to it at any time. On behalf of Kintone, thank you very much for joining us and have an excellent rest of your day.